Welcome to the Guide to Movies podcast with Joe and Sean. I am Joe. He is Sean, and we are once again joined by the only Brando critic.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me back. It's been a while.
I should have said one and only, but I just said only. The only.
Yeah, I was going to say, you just specified only, as if there's another one and they're somehow together in this universe.
Brando critic 2. There is. I mean, it's a shared universe of
What is it? There was a Brando critic. That was my Jeffrey, right? The best I could do.
Brando, what's been going on?
Oh, man. I mean, I'll be honest. This summer has been just so busy. Like, my real-time job has been crazy busy. Obviously, doing at least 2 reviews a week has been crazy. And then, me, any weekend that I have free in the summertime, I'm like, well, I just got to fill it with shit. I got to go on a vacation. I got to go to the beach. I got to go downtown. And so now when the winter or the fall's coming and winter soon, now I'm actually enjoying some weekends where I can just relax and I can actually kind of take my breath and, sleep a little bit. And yeah, I was running on fumes there for a while, but I'm looking forward to the fall season of movies. So I have a rejuvenated excitement.
That's awesome. I'm with you there. It's getting back to it's one thing to pace. Yeah, but it's also, we break out of quarantine or lockdown or whatever. And I'm kind of no, I want to go back to it. I like not doing anything. I have a reason to say no.
Yeah, exactly.
Sean, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Right now, this is the week right in between a wedding shower. And then this weekend is the bachelor party. So my attempts to lose weight are being quite thwarted. Currently, there is a gigantic dentist drill right next to me in the hall. So apologies to anyone that's picking up that. But I'm not going to be able to know what I'm saying or what you're saying. I'll just kind of go through it. So I'm going to be especially grouchy today, which is always means a good show.
We love that. Hey, so remind me, you broke into or you ended up crashing a shower this weekend. Is that right?
Well, crashing is an interesting term. I was told to arrive at the shower with a bouquet. And so after playing golf, I arrived at the shower with the bouquet. Then I didn't know what to do right after that because she just continued opening presents in front of literally only women. So I just kind of said all right, well, I guess I'll head to the back of the room and have a glass of wine.
Can I share the question you asked about the shower questionnaire you were asking or you were filling out?
Yes, because this one actually did bother me.
Yeah. So I get this text message that says, I'm filling out a shower questionnaire. Who do you think is my celebrity crush? I always thought it was Helen Mirren. But who did you put?
Well, so I really had a hard time doing it. I knew the one thing I would put, and the one thing she would actually say was my celebrity crush, because the point of it was she had to get all the answers right. And I knew she would think I would say Tom Brady. And so I put Tom Brady. It seemed like a logical closing point. Now, you don't know what she actually did put and what she actually guessed, and it was Chris Evans.
Oh.
Which I don't think that's really, I guess, but,
it's America's ass.
But it is great that, both of us turned to a guy, even though I am marrying a woman. Because it takes all kinds. But
didn't you tell me you were going to put down Emma Stone?
That's what I ended up doing. I did Tom Brady, crossed it out, and then put Emma Stone, which actually my mom guessed correct. Because she said I always, there's a lot of surprises happening at this shower. I mean, there were plenty of other questions that, they all said whatever, but that was the big one.
Brendan, who would your celebrity crush be?
Lily James. Lily James is my number one. Yeah, I don't know. Baby Driver, that movie. Anyway, when she's the dream sequence when she's on the car.
There you go.
I mean, Ana de Armas is up there, but I feel like that's kind of an easy answer right now. Ever since Knives Out, I just see a bunch of nerds online. Ana de Armas is just beautiful. She's up there for sure. I mean, can't go wrong with Emma Watson, right? Being a Potterhead. But Lily James is my number one.
Interesting. Yeah. I would go with Henry Cavill again, as everyone knows.
That one I could guess probably better than I guess Sam's crush.
Who was Sam's crush?
I forgot. And I don't think it was something, just like me, it was not something she actually had real stake in. What did I say it was though? I can't even remember, but.
Out of control. All right. Well, hey, we're going to dive into everything that we have to cover tonight. We're going to start off with covering some fun trailers that were released soon. Some are a little bit wacky. So what we're going to do is pop them on here, and then we'll talk about them after. But the first one is kind of caught me by surprise. It's a new series that's hitting Hulu, and it's a Marvel series, but it is Hitmonkey. Do you guys know anything about Hitmonkey?
You just told us about this before off mic, and so I am beyond curious. Oh my God.
All right, so here we go.
You're not like those other ones, are you? You and me, we're connected.
You're gonna have to kill some evil people that totally deserve to die. Because it's your destiny. Well, not your most subtle work. You know, if you're looking for a little constructive criticism.
It's time we put an end to this monkey business.
He's coming for me.
No, he's one of the good guys. He's here to protect us all.
You look like a badass. I never thought a 6-inch inseam would turn me on.
All right.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching every episode. It's like just like for the fact that I've heard Jason Sudeikis talk in a Southern accent for so long that it's I forgot like how granted he's smooth in that in Ted Lasso, but it's just I forget how great his voice is, and it's just that's just great voice acting for what we saw so far. It's really solid. Premise looks goofy as hell. I mean, I'm curious like about this. Like some Hulu is on Marvel, some Hulu is on Disney Plus. I know Hulu and Disney Plus and everything are all together. I guess this is one they're putting on Hulu because God forbid they put this on Disney Plus. It seems like it would be a little bit tricky. I don't know. I'm interested in this without a doubt.
I saw Brandon react at the same time that I did too with the no more monkey business. I'm like, oh God.
A little on the nose with that one.
That was the tough one. Yeah.
I think what they're doing is using Hulu for more of the mature stuff, which would be, kind of cool. I mean, it gives them an opportunity to break into some different stuff with Marvel and try to reach a different audience, like probably the teen, like high teens, right? That are maybe not so interested in some of the stuff that's hitting Disney Plus. Just like I was like, what's that streaming service again that we all have to pay for? Oh man. Did you watch MODOK, Brandon?
I did not. No,
I fell off of it. Sean, you watched it, right?
It's worth falling off. It was funny at times, but it just I was there and I went to the end because I can sometimes be too much of a completionist with this stuff, and I really need to learn to give it up. but I went to the end and it was funny at times, but for the most part unsatisfying.
All right, so the next one we have is Halloween Kills, the final trailer. People are talking about this because, of course, it's the second one in kind of the new trilogy that launched a couple of years ago. And it also is going to be looking like they're revisiting old characters or old victims and stuff. So let's pop this on and we shall discuss. Boop, boop. And we go.
Hey, what are you guys doing out here?
It's Halloween. We've been trick-or-treating.
Are you alone?
There's a creepy man in a white mask,
Where?
and he keeps like trying to play hide and seek with us.
Where did you see him? Look! Run! Go home now!
Boo.
I was like, that's a weird addition.
We killed Michael. My grandmother set the fire.
No one told you.
Told me what?
Michael Myers is alive.
A man couldn't have survived that fire. "40 years ago, the boogeyman came for us. We are the survivors of Michael Myers.
Glory, what do we do?
We fight.
Mom,
Our family will kill him.
we're gonna hunt him down and we're gonna put an end to this. He is not gonna stop killing until we stop him.
If you track Michael's victims, that's a straight line to Michael's childhood home. Someone's in our house.
He's coming for me, but I'm coming for him.
You want to kill someone? Take me! Michael!
I want to take his mask off and see the life leave his eyes.
I want to take his mask off.
Amazing final part of a trailer, just like we're gonna see him unmasked.
Oh my god!
Tobey Maguire under there, like Spider-Man 2.
Shia LaBeouf is back.
They turn him into Vincent D'Onofrio.
I'm kind of into that. I mean, I like the approach they're taking with bringing the old characters back, or like the ones that survive. That music is iconic. They can put that in any movie, and I'd be like pumped about it. But what are your thoughts, Brandon? What are you thinking about this one?
So the only Halloween movie I've ever seen is the original. That's it. I haven't seen any sequels. I haven't seen the new Halloween, I guess 2018 one. Mm-hmm. I'm planning on doing like a first time reaction to it in preparation for this new one. So yeah, I mean, it looks fun. I guess it's a spoiler about the house, I guess, but I mean, hey, like, I mean, if you're going into a slasher movie, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the genre, it's like, oh my god, he's alive. You didn't kill him. It's like, okay, you can kind of see that coming. So it's not that big of a spoiler, but you know, Judy Greer, I didn't know that she was going to be in it. So yeah, I mean, sure, why not? Let's see how it goes.
And I think that's Kyle Richards from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills in the first scene. I thought it was a joke when I had read that, but it looks like her. So, Sean, your thoughts?
You know, I'm into this, and I'm surprised to say it. I also, just like Brando, have only seen the original Halloween, but that's because I'm like afraid of all scary movies, and so I tried to catch up last year and like only watched the original Halloween. And so I will probably catch the 2018 Halloween before this comes out, which I don't have much time now. I got to get moving. Because this looks like it's thrilling. It looks a lot of fun. It's making not only the references to or not even the characters, but there's a lot of references to one. Like, you know, Michael Myers jumping right over the car is a reference to the first one. Like, there's a lot of really cool parts to this. You know, I mean, I hate that they're doing the thing, and I think the sequels do this in the original. They're making him supernatural now. Like, he survived the fire. No human could have survived that fire. And so already it's like, oh boy, okay. Like, what they're doing the supernatural thing, which that's going to be interesting. I love the idea that Jamie Lee Curtis came back into these movies, and you know, there's always this like thing. In 2018 it happened. It's happening now. It's not going to like officially come to fruition, but there's always Best Actress Oscar talk. I kind of dig it.
Someone brought that up on a live I was doing earlier. They're like, Jamie Lee Curtis? I'm like, I don't know.
it just flat out won't happen. I mean, it would be great if it did. It would be really cool. I would kind of like it, but it's just, there's no way.
Who's the last Best Actress winner for a horror movie?
You know, it should be Toni Collette, but it's not.
Is it Jodie Foster?
That's who I think it is for Silence of the Lambs, right?
Hold on.
Yeah, so if we're going actress, that's probably it. Frances McDormand for Sixth Sense, she was supporting, but she was also nominated. Boy, that's tricky. Sally Hawkins, Shape of Water. That's not. Yeah, I would say Silence of the Lambs, Jodie Foster. Yeah, because then we get tricky about what is horror and what isn't horror. Like, I just literally spat out Shape of Water, and that's not even close.
Yeah, I mean, you have Kathy Bates the year before for Misery.
Oh, that's
the year. That's the year before. Yeah.
Oh, the year before. Yeah, that's true. 89. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that would be it.
Sean, I love when you get confused with the Oscars and you like get so hard on yourself right away.
Yeah. That was even worse. That was me like screwing up what year things are. It's like I knew 91 and 90, but I don't know. I guess I was going in reverse. Like, it was even worse.
Numbers. Is Monster considered a horror film? I haven't seen it, or is that more of like a thriller?
I'd say crime thriller. But you know, I mean, pretty damn horrifying.
Right.
But
and then like Black Swan, like I haven't seen that either, but it's not a horror film. It's like a kind of creepy, weird movie. I've heard.
I would give that close to horror. I mean, I'm someone that believes that every terminology, thriller, horror, scary, lump them all into the same thing, baby.
Yeah,
I love it. Like
more psychological than anything else, but it definitely has horror aspects.
I mean, I was terrified walking out of that theater.
That was a rough one.
It messed with me. I mean, the one actually question I want to bring up here, like, this seems like, and we're going to talk about this in a few things. It seems like they're gearing up for this to be like the last one. Now, if it does well, obviously it won't be the last one. They'll do 8 more. But
there's one more lined up.
Oh, there is one more lined up. Okay, because they were saying it's a trilogy.
Yeah, I believe they already filmed it. It's called Halloween Ends. It's supposed to come out the year after.
That's adorable. Halloween Ends. Yeah. Halloween ends again.
Yeah, Halloween ends again until 2 years from now when J.J. Abrams makes a new one.
Halloween ends again. The Legend of Curly's Gold.
Chloe Zhao's Halloween. I have a question. How are we in 2021 and we're still dealing with this shit with horror movies where they're like, oh, he's dead. You didn't see the body. You did not see the body. We have Scream that tells us, put a bullet in the head. Double tap them. We used to have that in Zombieland. Double tap them. We're still dealing with this bullshit?
I think with this one, it is tricky because they don't see the body. But like, there is a moment where Jamie Lee Curtis, like, in another trailer, sees the firefighters come and they're like, no, let him burn. And so she has doubt. But then in this movie, it seems like she was sure that he was dead. So I think see the body, try to find the body. I mean, wishful thinking, maybe. Like, I don't know. Can
you be a little more authentic with the "Let 'em burn" reference? Please do the.
You get to adjust the volume levels later. Let it burn! Let it burn! No! Give me an Oscar.
Oh God. Well, so our next movie that we're going to watch is Finch, which is Castaway meets District 9 meets other things. But here we go on this one. This is the last trailer for the evening. Enjoy.
It all happened so fast. There was a solar flare. Goodbye crops and food, goodbye everything. Frightened and so alone. And I found you.
Wilson.
What shall we have?
They turned the volleyball into a dog.
Keep your elbows up.
I Am Legend.
You're next. You see, I'm developing something interesting. Giant leap of faith. Now, if you can speak, tell me something about you.
Robots must protect dog.
If we don't go before that storm hits, we'll die, all of us. As soon as you can walk, we're leaving.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1.
That's falling.
1, 2.
Head west, over the mountains.
Would you like me to drive?
Don't oversteer. That's oversteering.
Sorry.
Ease your foot up just a hair. Perfect. Hey, what's all the fuss?
I learned to talk dog. I don't think it likes me. Come and see this.
Tug Harvey down. Hang on to something. We should be safe once we get into the mountains. But things will happen. Like 150-degree heat, UV radiation, and people hiding in the shadows.
Go now! Do you think we'll make it?
Not without my team. What we do together.
I believe in you, Finch.
So
it's Tom Hanks. You know what? Like, I'm sure we've had this discussion before, where it's like the movie star is dead. Where it's like, not many people will go like, oh, I will go see that because this actor is in it. Where they can really sell a movie. I think Tom Cruise and The Rock are like the two ones left. That trailer seemed like all over the place, but I'm like, but it's Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
That's just for me though. I'm like, but it's Tom Hanks, so you never know. So
that's true.
Let's see.
Sean, you seemed ready to jump in there.
Well, I mean, no, it is true. Like that is the one like thing that's hinging on this, and that's what they're hinging on as well. Is Tom Hanks? I mean, literally, the last title card is Tom Hanks is Finch. Like please, see this because of Tom Hanks, and I think people will see this literally because of Tom Hanks. Now, he's doing something here with his voice inflection that is really unsettling, and I don't know.
Thank you for bringing that up.
I don't know which voice is worse, his or the robot's, and it's just like there's something like very unnatural about it, and that's the part that like really is blowing my mind. I also am just gonna call it right now based on the way like this movie has this tone and everything. A third of this cast is dying. Either the dog dies for some reason, the robot dies for some reason, or Hanks is going to die for some. One of those three, not all of them, not two of them, but one of those three is going down. It just, and I truly don't know which though. That's the real fun part. I can imagine
it's
an ending.
The audience.
Well, yeah, that's the other part of it. Absolutely. But
so the robot is voiced by Caleb Landry Jones.
Hey, what? This is like Bradley Cooper voice in Rocket Raccoon. It's like there's absolutely no point to that because he puts on the weirdest voice in the world that makes him indecipherable. And this is exact. Oh my God.
And I mean, this is going to be a little bit of a spoiler maybe, but if you look at IMDb, it's kind of easy to see where this is going. There's 3 characters that are listed as flashback characters. And then there's 2 other young characters in addition to Tom Hanks and Caleb Landry Jones. So it's a small cast, and you kind of see the direction that film's probably taking.
I think I see what you're going at. We're not going to say it, though. I don't know where you're
going. Should be interesting. Brendo, anything else to add about Tom Hanks and Finch?
Like Apple TV has surprised me before with Palmer. That one came out of left field.
You love Palmer.
Absolutely.
Like that one was like, wow. But yeah, it seems like you said, it's Wall-E meets I'm Legend meets Castaway meets The Martian.
Twister.
Meets Twister. I don't know what the hell to expect. But hey,
Short Circuit.
What? Short Circuit, right? Meets Chappie. Like, you know what though? But hey, if I end up seeing it, I'll give it an honest chance. I think every movie deserves an honest chance. And if I say that I hate a movie, it's not because I went in wanting to hate it. It's because it genuinely sucks. So, but it might not suck, but it looks like it sucks.
It doesn't look great from where we're standing right now.
It doesn't look like the best movie ever.
Hank's
I'll tell you, my parents are pumped for it. So there you go.
I got to be honest. My parents have not seen the trailer, but I'm gonna get a text from my dad soon. Hey, have you seen this, Finch? It looks like the best movie of the year. I'm like, buddy,
we got you, buddy. We got you. All right, let's take a break, and we're back. Best break ever, Best break ever. All right, so we're going to jump into something new that we wanted to discuss tonight because we are at this wonderful time of the year where it is fall movie season right around the corner. I guess we're kind of in it, but we're starting to get to the big releases that everyone's been looking forward to. A lot of films that have been delayed for over a year, in some case 2 years. I still don't think The King's Man is coming out in December. I don't think that movie exists. But here we are. That was supposed to come out forever ago. We're going to dive into the top 3 movies that we're looking forward to, coming up in the next, 4 months, 5 months, whatever, the rest of the year here.
To the December.
To the December. There's a lot to choose from. So, Brandon, we're going to start with you here. Hit us with your list.
Okay. So, yeah, I agree with you that The King's Man would, forever, I would say James Bond, Top Gun, and King's Man. Those would be my top 3, back in 2020, right? Before any of this stuff happened, right? But like you said, King's Man, I think right now is slated to come out the same weekend as Matrix 4 in Matrix Resurrections. If that happens, it's going to get, Matrix is going to kick its ass, completely. So I think they're going to move. I can't see them going up against Matrix, so I think it's going to move to 2022. But go for the Valentine's Day release. That's what worked for the first one. So I think it could be good. So number 3, Matrix 4, Matrix Resurrections. That looks sweet. That looks sick. I didn't expect to like it, or like the trailer, but I'm like, you know what? That looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Spider-Man: No Way Home. Yeah, I feel like my answers are so obvious. Yeah.
I have a question. Why was your trailer reaction not like off the wall screaming, crying like everyone else's was for that?
Because I don't scream and cry at trailers. Just even for movies that I'm like, I cannot fucking wait to see.
Yeah, but you guys didn't see him at Finch. He was screaming and crying the whole time watching.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm a hypocrite for that. I saw Tom Hanks, and I'm just like, I got weak in the knees. I'm like, oh no.
Whoa, different podcast. We talked about this a while back, but some of those reactions for it, where people were like freaking out, and like the vein was like popping in the head. I was like, oh my god,
I don't get it.
I'm happy for you guys, but like, Christ,
I just don't get it. Like, I think it's just the hype machine. Like, I've been, and again, like, I don't want to use the age argument because I'm only 26, and I know people who are older than me that are like, oh my god, and like, okay, I gotta call bullshit on these people. For the people who are constantly posting and talking about Marvel, Doc Ock is in this movie. Green Goblin is in this movie. So when you see him, it's like you know that he's going to be in the trailer, right? But I will admit, like, if they showed like Tobey Maguire, I'd be like, oh.
Yeah, I know, that would have been pretty cool.
That's the one reveal that I'm waiting for. But again, it's just trailers to me. I can't get hyped for them anymore. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't mean that the movie's going to be good. Like, I've been hyped for movies and the trailer just completely is amazing, but the movie sucks. Like, I would rather see a great movie with a terrible trailer any day than a great trailer and a terrible movie. So it just personally, I cannot scream and like lose my mind over trailers. But I will admit, like, I was excited for it, but I'm like, yeah, that looks cool. But that's the extent of my excitement. I'm not going to like start screaming and, oh my gosh, nerdgasm! Ah!
I'm going to start doing trailer reactions where I freak out for like period dramas. Like, I'm going to
do a trailer reaction for Mass.
It's Kevin Costner! It's Kevin Costner! Oh my god!
For Mass? Oh my god.
Mom, it's Kevin Costner!
I'm going to do Spencer, and when she's like crying on the side, I'm going to be like, oh my god!
Tragedy of Macbeth.
Let's go!
It's Frances McDormand! She was announced.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't get that. It's like you know, like, I know some channels that like broke like, oh my god, Alfred Molina is gonna be in Spider-Man months ago. And then they see him, oh my god, he's in it. It's like, did you just forget? Or anyway, but anyways. And then number 1 is No Time to Die. It's just because I'm a Bond fan. So
the resident Bond fan here.
The resident Bond fan. And I mean, like, in the MCU, to me, like, people say like Eternals, I felt nothing during those trailers. And I think it's just because it's like there's so much MCU stuff. Yeah. But I've been a Spider-Man fan since the Toby days. So I think that's why.
Well, on that note, Sean, do you mind if I jump into my list? Number 1 is the Eternals.
There we go. I knew that was happening. That's why I wanted you in there, buddy.
I am very excited for it. I've been excited for it before the first trailer came out because I'm very interested to see where Chloe Zhao takes these characters who are, in a lot of ways, kind of like a petri dish of like the rest of the MCU, and also like a couple of the characters have a lot of similarities to DC characters. But I think it's just going to open things up, and I think that we don't know the half of what this movie is going to do for the MCU. And even if it doesn't end up being that big like game changer, then I'm totally fine with it because it looks beautiful. I love the cast, and I'm very excited to see what happens. I think it's a totally different direction for them to go in just based on the tone of the trailer. And then also sort of, again, there are some characters in it when you look at the actual Eternals and the villains and all this and stuff that are going to really potentially change what's going on. Also makes me wonder how they're connected to some of the other things that we know are coming down the pike. So I'm excited for it. It's one of those movies that I think people are going to sleep on a little bit for Marvel, but then it's going to have a major hit.
It will be interesting to see how it's received because, like, as we saw, the most watched trailer of all time is Spider-Man: No Way Home, which no new characters whatsoever. No new characters allowed, which is fine, by the way. They're fun characters. I'm not, this and this. But then we have Eternals, which is literally only new characters in Marvel and, new and granted, it's like all people we've seen in the cast, but it'll be interesting to see how people react to this one and where the box office goes on this one. I am so curious to see how this one does, and that's my excitement.
Yeah.
I mean, also excited for the movie itself, but like the general reaction is going to be interesting.
And Shang-Chi did that, right? It was new characters that were introduced, and that kind of took off. Shang-Chi, sorry. I always mispronounce.
Me too.
All right, so Eternals, number 1. Number 2, Dune. I have been pretty excited for this since I read the book years ago and was hoping for kind of I never watched the old one because everyone just told me how sucky it was, but I'm debating if I'm going to watch it before this one. And so I know, no, there's no reason to. But now seeing, number 1, the trailers look great. The cast is great. And hearing the reaction that it's getting at the film festivals that it's premiering at, it just makes me that much more excited that we actually might have a really solid, big sci-fi hit that we haven't had in quite a while outside of Marvel or DC. Marvel, I should say, really. And Star Wars, I would say. But Dune, I think, is going to be the start of probably a really epic series. So hopeful for that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one where I think my concerns of it are overhyped so much. I'm like, I'm scared of that. Now the festivals are an excellent sign. That tells me right there, oh wait, this is actually something like beautiful we're dealing with. So that has me with a lot of hope. But the first part of it was just like, I was getting frustrated by the hype because everyone was just like, it's the greatest movie ever. Have you seen it? Well, no, but it's the greatest movie ever. And now it's starting to maybe become something that will really be great. And so I got good expectations.
Yeah, we shall see. My third is Off the Beaten Path. It's House of Gucci. Really pumped for Lady Gaga in yet another movie, but especially this story I think is really a fascinating one to tell based on a true story. Adam Driver, Jared Leto, Al Pacino, Tom Ford. The cast is just pretty solid in that sense. I forgot Salma Hayek is in it as well as I'm looking at the list. Jeremy Irons. So I'm excited for that right around Thanksgiving time. I love Lady Gaga in these roles where it's kind of like, well, no, I was just going to say where it's kind of like that's not even the right way to say it. I was going to say where she kind of like bears all, which I guess she did in Star is Born. She ended up bearing all and really kind of being raw. And I'm hoping that happens here. But what you also see with this character is pretty strong-willed, and it's going to be fun to see her kind of take that on. So, any thoughts on that one?
I mean, I was going to try to keep my mouth shut because I don't know about that one because I'm a little worried. It's the trailer just made it seem like the silliest thing, and a lot of people do love this and are excited for this. So I'm like, okay, I'm seeing it. I'm definitely seeing it right away. But there's just the high level of makeup, which is fine in a movie, of course. Tammy Faye, pretty good performance anyway, so it's possible to do the good performance of the makeup. But it just seems like there's this silliness, goofy quality to the trailer, and I don't know how that can translate to the movie in the right way. And maybe
I didn't get that at all.
It's the father, son, and House of Gucci. The accents that I don't know how well they stick, and then just the silly makeup, and it just seems like maybe not funny is the rightest way, but like some sort of like overblown type of thing, and that could be fine in a movie, and that could be great, and it could be a good movie. I worry about that from the trailer I saw. That's where I'll say it.
I have a question, and I don't mean this as like a dig, and it's going to come across as a dig.
Go.
Do you find more often than not that you approach movies as a super cautious person? Because I feel like for the past couple of weeks, every movie that we've talked about coming out, you've been worried about.
This is a good question because
I don't mean that negatively.
No, not at all. No, that's
It seems like you protect yourself from like high expectations,
from being disappointed. I think I don't want the hype to get me. I mean, like, look at me talk the way I talked about Dune. Now I'm excited for Dune, of course, but it's something where I'm just like, I don't want to just fall for the spell of the hype, because I've done that before. And then like the next day, I think it's the perfect movie, and then all of a sudden, like a few months later, I'm like, this was shit. Like, I'll just be like, just not realizing that. So maybe that's the reason why, like, I do that, is to like, build up a wall. But, I still will go in there, with blank slate, like, with like, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, a little bit of both. Some of them I'm a little more excited for, some of them I'm not as excited for, but I'll try to keep it as even keel as I can.
Fair.
You know what I think when you were talking about that? I think, people like us who review movies and are actively watching like a lot more than just like the average person, right? They'll go like, oh, what's on Netflix, or what's out now? Oh, nothing looks interesting to me, I won't see it. Like, they'll only watch things that they're interested in, or they'll watch maybe like a movie a month. So they'll pick generally what they're interested in and they'll generally like it. Whereas we normally watch a lot more, which means we watch a lot more crap, like I think the last 5 movies I've reviewed, I've given a 2 out of 5 out of, and I'm like, this sucks. It's like, why can't I see like a really great movie? And, and again, I'm not going into these movies expecting them to be awful. Like, I want every movie I see is to be amazing. But I think, because we watch so many movies and, it's always a mixed bag. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're bad. We don't necessarily get to choose. Maybe that's why we're more cautious. Maybe.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
I think that would make sense. It's a very good point. Well, that's my list. So a little different, but Sean, hit me.
Oh, you want to see different? So my first movie is Belfast. It is the black and white Kenneth Branagh film that has been working its way through the festivals about his childhood in Ireland during the Troubles. Everyone's saying this. Exactly. I like to put it that way just because I don't know the official words. But it is during the like growing up dealing with that, and that should be a very serious movie. But this trailer, and I believe the movie, is, as far as I know, takes a like much more lighthearted tone with it all. And I've heard people get, sort of say that's part of the problem of this, is that, it's a little bit lighthearted when this is a very serious backdrop. A lot of people have been making ridiculously unfair comparisons to Roma, where it's like black and white film about the director's childhood, where something's going on in that country. And yeah, it's a reach. I mean, there is a few things there that, make it solid, but the performers in here, you have, I'm going to mess up his name. I hope not. Jamie Dornan, Christian Grey, who is giving like apparently a really great performance in the trailer as well. Kieran Hines, who might be due for a possible Oscar consideration, considering he's a character actor that's been around for quite a while. And then you got Judi Dench hanging out in there as well. I really like, I'm excited to see this trailer. Hooked me. It's just like, I always think about that trailer. I watch it a few times a day. So that's one that, like the style's there. And even though it won the TIFF Audience Award, and it won, and that often leads to a possible Best Picture, or is like the most popular movie, which, some people will turn their nose up to the most popular movie. I don't think that's a great thing to do, but, something like, Green Book won the TIFF Audience Award and stuff. So that's what we're dealing with here. So this could be like, it's crowd pleasing. It looks like it's a great movie. I'll leave there pretty happy. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too. That one looks pretty good. Like I come from an Irish background, and like from where my grandmother said, it's just like Ireland was a poor country just forever, right? Like they were always like England's bitch, and they just never got any respect. And even when they come over here, it's like, oh, the Irish, like, ugh, and I mean, it was obviously more recent than Gangs of New York times, but yeah, that one looks really good for all the reasons you mentioned.
So Tick, Tick, Boom is my next one. And I listed all of the movies coming out, and then I just started axing them out, and all of a sudden I was down to 3, and I was like, oh, Tick, Tick, Boom's here. And I think Tick, Tick, Boom is here because I'm excited for Andrew Garfield's performance because he's having a year. I am now excited for Lin-Manuel Miranda's directing because I've heard it's very good in this movie. And, we've had Miranda fatigue, and I understand it. I've also had Miranda fatigue. But the guy's still a great artist. And even though this is his first film he's directing, I think he sort of is able to, fit into something that could work pretty well. it's interesting with all the musicals. I mean, I've almost seen all of them now that are coming out, but with Tick, Tick, Boom, like being one of them is the one that like sort of stands out because it's the one that is sort of a departure from the rest of them. I'm probably going to see Dear Evan Hansen tomorrow. That's based on a Broadway play. So is Tick, Tick, Boom, but not one that I know about. Then West Side Story, we already are all connected to that. We've all, possibly either seen it or been a part of it, or like, music has entered our mind. This is like the last one where it's like, oh, this one I know nothing about this musical. I know nothing about it, personally. I really know nothing about the main subject, and so I'm excited to see all of these interesting points of it. So that one definitely has me interested. So the third one, I don't know.
I'm interested. I mean, I feel like I'm a little let down from some musicals that have come out recently, and I'm usually the musical guy. So we'll see what happens.
I want to say something like, like, Joe, I want to ask you a question about you. Are you okay with musicals lately?
No, I'm not.
Not. Okay. You've been hurt. My last one is definitely going to be one that really has everybody rolling in the aisles. That is The Power of the Dog. We got Benedict Cumberbatch playing a really insane, like kind of transfixing character. Just really can't be told to be, method the whole time. Truly, this is kind of what some Oscar bait is made of. Although he's not going to win the Oscar for Best Actor. I already know who's going to win the Oscar for Best Actor. And then Kirsten Dunst, Will Smith for King Richard.
Okay.
It's like at this point, it's one thing where it's like, all right, like it's starting to get popular with the festivals. Then, we talk about the Oscars being out of touch. They nominate Will Smith. They give an Oscar to Will Smith. People are going to start watching the Oscars to see if he wins. Then it just comes down to, it's a pretty good performance. People said it's a pretty crowd-pleasing performance. It's a little bit different from his usual thing, but then also it's still Will Smith, and watching that guy campaign is going to be a blast. Like he's going to have some fun. Like, he's pretty beloved, and it's a due Oscar, but still probably going to be good.
92% on Rotten Tomatoes so far. 12 reviews, but that's pretty good. I never even heard of this movie. That's exciting.
It's really interesting because everyone just says it's like, crowd pleasing sports movie. So, it's gonna be like a very like middle of the road type of deal. It's not gonna be something that people are gonna like worship, but it's also gonna be something that people will quite like from what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the one where it's like of all of them, everyone's just saying, yeah, Will Smith has it, which means he probably won't get nominated. But another Oscar nominee from Power of the Dog, though, will be Kirsten Dunst, who has not been nominated for an Oscar yet, which is like kind of quite stunning, and her performance is quite good in this. This is also Jane Campion's return. She did The Piano way back when, and she's done other movies since, but nothing has burst its way onto the scene like The Piano did. That was huge. And so this one will be beautiful looking, and it's on Netflix, so it'll be beautiful looking on my TV. But I'm looking forward to those three the most.
Speaking of Will Smith, a little bit of breaking news here is that Summertime, a hip-hop musical based on Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff's song of the same name, is in development.
Was it already a play, or is this just going right to movie?
Right to movie.
Oh boy. Let's just not even flex those muscles.
That is reported by Deadline as of today. So that is happening.
Oh boy.
Yep.
My reaction to that is like, fine, that could be fun, but who's going to play Will Smith? Because if it's Will Smith, we have a real Ben Platt and Dear Evan Hansen situation on our hands.
Ben Platt's playing Will Smith. All right. We got to get going for a break, so let's take a break. And we're back. All right. Wonderful stuff there. So let's jump into some of the news that we have and dive right into the fun stuff. I can't believe none of you or neither of you said that you were really excited for My Little Pony: The Next Generation coming out on Netflix this Friday, but whatever, we'll move on.
The first one didn't really hold up the world building.
The Last Generation.
I'm not allowed to watch it.
They have a Netflix block on there for some reason.
Yeah. Oh my God.
My mom's just like, that one, no.
Oh my God. Anyway, Fantastic Beasts 3 finally has a title. Of course, this follows Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them and Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. This is the long-delayed third installment The last one came out in 2018, I believe, but it's been postponed multiple times, or this one has. The new one's called Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, and it will now release on April 15th, 2022, which is actually up a few months from where it was originally scheduled. Mads Mikkelsen is replacing Johnny Depp as Grindelwald. And the tag is that Professor Albus Dumbledore knows the powerful dark wizard Gellert Grindelwald is moving to seize control of the wizarding world. Unable to stop him alone, he entrusts magizoologist Newt Scamander to lead an intrepid team of wizards, witches, and one brave muggle baker on a dangerous mission where they encounter old and new beasts and clash with Grindelwald's growing legion of followers. But with the stakes so high, how long can Dumbledore remain on the sidelines? Sean, listen, you're making that fucking face right now. And I
can't see the face because I'm staring at the ceiling.
I am so excited for this because here's why. I love Harry Potter, okay? The first movie was fine. The second one shit the bed. People will argue with me on that, but the second one was crap. The third one, I think they're going back to the well here, and they're trying to bring Harry Potter fans back to it. That's why Dumbledore's in the title, in my opinion. And also, they're going to really dive into some of the backstory of Dumbledore here. And if they don't make him gay in this movie and show it, I'm going to be pissed because he's gay, and they never played it because she is a transphobe, homophobe, all that stuff. But she being J.K. Rowling. But I'm excited for this. I think it could actually be good if they take it to a more action-packed level and try to not be as creative, or creative isn't the right word. Please be creative. Don't be as serious and tone deaf as you were in the past two. Scene.
Yeah. And what's funny? I'm actually watching the Harry Potter movies again with my girlfriend because she's never seen them. And like this morning we watched Half-Blood Prince, and spoiler alert, I actually had my phone out, so I filmed her reaction when Dumbledore died, and she's like starting to cry, and she's like, "Oh my god, I hate it!" Like she was getting really, really emotional. So it's been a lot of fun watching those movies again with someone who's never seen them before. I love Harry Potter. Like I always say that Star Wars is my favorite franchise, but honestly, Harry Potter can on some days can really take that mantle. The first Fantastic Beasts movie was, it was fun. Crimes of Grindelwald, I watched it with my sister, and she's a big Potterhead. And at the same time, we looked at each other and we're like, this is fucking crap. Like, this is just terrible. I hated Crimes of Grindelwald. So boring, so monotonously convoluted. Who is directing the third one?
David Yates.
Again, okay. I mean, he's made great Harry Potter movies, obviously, but like, I'm thinking a good, like a new voice, a new director might be good. I think just Alfonso Cuarón it. You know what I mean? Like he had like that one different. I'm not saying get him specifically, but just get like a totally random director for it.
Jordan Peele.
I don't know about that. I could see the poster right now, but anyway, you know what? But you know what? You make a good point. Secrets of Dumbledore, having Dumbledore in the title, I think Jude Law's a good choice. And yeah, I think like if I have to read another damn article, it's like we finally have a progressively gay character in this blockbuster movie, just like Jungle Cruise. It's like, really, that's what you call a progressively like? Oh, I'm different.
Elsewhere. I go elsewhere.
Elsewhere.
It's because the bar is so fucking low for Disney.
And it's like, oh wow, so progressive, Disney. Good job. Pat on the back. Like just flat out say it. Like flat out show a relationship. Show that he's a gay character and actually say the word. Right. It doesn't have to be forced. It doesn't have to be like the audience is bigoted if you don't accept. Like you don't have to do that.
No, fucking force it. I want to see Jude Law up against the wall with Mads Mikkelsen and like that like tension in the eyes and make it really weird here. Or like have him have like an Only Wands page or something. I want something I want something crazy here. Dive headfirst into this because you didn't touch on it in the movies. And it was big in the books when it came. Well, big meaning it was mentioned. But like, let's go. It's time.
Right. But I mean, you don't have to talk down to the audience. That's what I mean.
Right. I agree. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Sean?
Yeah, I mean, I liked the original Harry Potter movies. I acknowledge them as 7. I think that if you put that the last 2 together, that creates probably one of the best Harry Potter movies. But apart, they're a nightmare. So I feel that they're
a nightmare.
A nightmare. The first one is just
strong.
like it's all exposition, and then there is absolutely no action. And then the second one is all action with no exposition. You feel unsatisfied in both of them.
How fascinating that you usually have a problem with the third act, but here you have a problem with the first two acts and the first one.
The 3 acts of both movies. It was all one movie that literally got split down the middle.
Literally. You just got to watch them back to back. And like people even say, it's like, well, you can't judge them as 2 movies. Well, I'm like, well, they got 2 releases. There's 2 posters.
I was in the theater for both of them.
So you have to pay 2 tickets. You have to pay twice. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's a fair point. But then again, it's like, well, you can just watch them back to back, and then you get the full experience.
Yeah, and then I do appreciate that. I will say with these movies, I'm just having such a hard time caring for them. And, I think it's because these aren't really like, Harry Potter is not my thing. I like the original movies. I don't dislike them at all. And I'm interested in them, but I don't think I'm someone that's interested in the lore and the world. And, when it comes to Marvel or Star Wars, like, I'll jump right on the speeder or Thor's hammer, and I will happily like fly through those worlds and all the different. I'm watching What If, which is like a billion like different universes, so that's ridiculous. So, but this I can't I can't chill with a zookeeper that wasn't in the original movies. But I mean, there's something about it where for some reason it felt like, I don't want to say this because this always feels weird, but it felt like work to me. These movies, we just finished the Harry Potter movies, and I was just like, now we're doing this. What is this? And so, to tell you the truth, so hand up, I haven't seen these, so I can't really form that much of an opinion on.
Wait,
I'm just,
what the hell were you just talking about for the past 2 minutes?
I'm just saying I'm not interested in exploring more of the lore. That's what I mean.
What was work? The Harry Potter movies were work?
Because like I feel like they're like, all right, these movies that you're about to see are going to go like through a different world. There'd be like a prequel type of side, and I don't feel like diving into that world because that feels like work to me. That's what I mean.
Okay, cool.
The Harry Potter
this has been
lore,
the most contentious like episode between like
do you
watch
like Lord of the Rings
movies.
Do you like is Lord of the Rings lore work?
Well, he enjoyed Lord of the Rings, but not The Hobbit because that felt like work.
No, The Hobbit just sucked.
And hold on, let me get this straight. And I think this will be the same logic then. The original Star Wars is good. The prequels are work because it became more about the details, right?
Well, this is where it gets actually very tricky for me. The prequels came out when I was a kid, so they didn't feel like work because I saw a little like animated Jar Jar Binks and I giggled. And so then even though those movies do suck, they did sucker me into that universe more. So when 7, 8, and 9 came out, I continued to get into it. So it's this sort of thing where I think maybe it hit me at the wrong time. These I call them these prequel movies, these Fantastic Beasts movies, maybe just like hit me at the wrong time where my interest of them has waned because I don't read books. You know this about me. I never read a Harry Potter book. I just saw the movies. And so like my entire like knowledge of this world is based off of the movies. So when like nothing like was involved in that first one that really had to do with the movies to me in the trailers and everything, I just said to myself, this really isn't for me. And then all of a sudden they're like, we're making 5 movies of this. And I was like, what? Like, I don't know if I can do this now. So it just started to tumble out of control where I might not be there. Who knows? Maybe I'll find myself in a situation where I watch these 2 Fantastic Beasts movies and then catch the third.
I learn more and more about you every week.
This is the first time I've ever talked about Harry Potter. So you got to know that I don't care about it because I talk about everything that I'm passionate about immediately.
Fair. All right, let's talk about some passion that some fans have for some of these reboots that are coming and some of the projects that fans are not as passionate about with some of the sequels as well. So the first one is the Lost Boys reboot, which is, we don't need this. I'm sorry. But anyway, we are getting a reboot of 1987's The Lost Boys. We already know from the Hollywood Reporter that Noah Jupe from A Quiet Place and Jada Martell from It are set to star. The original one dealt with 2 brothers who encounter a gang of vampires. Discuss. Do we want it? Do we like it? Do we need it?
No. I mean, we definitely don't because Lost Boys is a cult classic and it will do nothing but piss people off. If you're going to remake it, though, and you're basically, hopefully you're going to modernize it because if you're just remaking it in a setting in the 80s, that's just silly. But if you're going to remake it, like, divert from the original themes in a way, divert from the original characterizations, and make this something that how's the best way I could say it, that like sort of has a different plot in some way, so you could separate this from the original. Now I know for a fact they're not going to do that, and they're instead going to make it a silly comedy when his older brother is like half vampire and stuff, and they're just going to make it a little bit more sillier, where they made it kind of dark in this one. They're going to make it a silly family comedy, and that's why I can't do without it. However, if Diane Wiest is back, I'm in.
I've never seen The Lost Boys, so I can't comment on it actually. Yeah, so I'll watch the first one before I watch the reboot, or if I watch the reboot at all. Yeah, that's all I can really say.
Yeah, I'm with you both. It is what it is. I do like Noah Jupe, though. I think he's a good little actor. Mm-hmm. Good little actor. So.
He's a good little actor. You're a good little actor. You.
The next one is, well, actually, first off, Brandon, how do you feel about Frank Grillo?
Who?
Exactly.
Perfect. All right. So
thank you, Brando.
The Forever Purge, which we all know as the final movie in the Purge film, was not the final movie in the Purge franchise, I should say. We are getting the Purge 6 with Frank Grillo returning. James DeMonaco is returning to direct. The script has recently been finished. And apparently DeMonaco said that he has found a new direction to go with a potential 6th film. Gotcha. I don't know what that means.
He's in.
Yep.
Oh, he's Crossbones, right?
Yes.
Yes. Right. That's what I thought.
He's also in Cosmic Sin, which is a fantastic movie. Highly recommend to put it on your list. What's that Time one?
There's the Gray.
I know he was
Warrior.
in 8 movies last year, and they all were terrible.
He was just in Cop Shop.
Cop Shop.
Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
Oh, yeah. He's got a few Goldens there.
Yeah.
But so this news was announced by Frank Grillo?
Yeah, like it kind of slipped out.
I'm not trusting him for a second. Frank Grillo here. I'm not dealing with this. I don't know. I mean, obviously I love that they're like, we're going to put it, it's going to be taken in a different direction. Now it'll be crimes legal for 2 nights.
25 hours. Yeah.
It's like what they said with the new Paranormal Activity, and if you saw the preview for Paramount Plus, it's literally Paranormal Activity but outside. They're like, we found a new way to go with it to get new fans.
Blair Witch.
Yeah. I was like, okay, cool.
I don't know. Like, my one interest here is, I wonder, these films don't even seem popular anymore, and maybe I'm just in my film snob bubble. But I don't think they're doing that well. And so I don't know why they continue to stack them. Like, at the beginning, they were doing stunning. They were really great. Ethan Hawke was in the goddamn first one, which I still like baffles me and stuff. But yeah, first one, second one there. Then they tried to make them about the election, which, that gets fun. And at this point, they did the Forever Purge, and now it's just, they have this 6th one, and it doesn't seem like anyone cares. Anyone's discussing them. I mean, I don't think there's much to discuss. Did you see when the head came off that guy? Like, I don't understand what else they can do with these. I mean, if you could explore new things like they're saying you can do, then cool. But I don't think you can.
I'll tell you that just based off of looking at the numbers real quick, it looks like they all have made a ton of money, like increasing amounts of money for little. Like the budget, the first budget was
budget.
Like $3 million. It's horror, right? Horror a lot of times has low budget.
Just crank them out, yeah.
But the Forever Purge kind of shut the bed, it looks like.
And this was released in the pandemic, so that's the caveat.
Good point.
Yeah.
But like the first Purge was 91 million worldwide. The second Purge was 111 million, which isn't a ton, but on budgets of 3 and 9 million, that's pretty decent. The third one was 118. The fourth one was 137, and the Forever Purge was 76. So I mean, hey, whatever.
That's the best way to react to that news.
The next one is The Flight of the Navigator, or Flight of the Navigator, which is getting a remake, and it is another, quote, reimagining, if you will. But the lead's going to be gender swap. That's the reimagining. Watch out. Bryce Dallas Howard is directing and producing. The original film followed a young boy who travels 8 years into the future with an alien ship as his ally that he talks to. Anyone seen Flight of the Navigator?
I've heard good things. Yeah. I've actually heard that it's a very underrated, fun Disney movie.
It's got the cult kid thing to it, so it's one of those things where if you grew up with it, it's like the finest of masterpieces. But if we looked at it now, it's like, oh boy, it's a little bit tough.
I put it in the same category as the is it Rocketeer? Yeah. But Disney did have those like sleeper 80s hits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about this one though. I mean, I think about this. They're doing a remake of a popular property from way back when, and it's from Disney Plus. And what happens there is when you do that popular remake from something way back when, or a prep sequel, reimagining, all that stuff, it gets buried on Disney Plus. And there's a lot of stuff that just gets buried. There's a lot of content on Disney Plus that's getting buried, and that's I think that's part of the problem with it. And I would argue that this might be one of those things. It doesn't seem like any of this will stand out, or if it does, once again, like Lost Boys, it'll piss people off.
Yeah, that's a good point. But then again, it's like, I think Disney knows that it probably will not draw in a giant box office crowd when they go to the theatrical route. So it's like, okay, well, we can probably make it for a small budget, and it will probably get a good little following on Disney Plus, and I think they can, get some sort of profit. I don't know how the numbers work with streaming and stuff. I don't understand that, but I just haven't looked into it. But I'm sure that even like with the Rocketeer remake or sequel or whatever the hell they're doing, they're making more Rocketeer stuff. They're going straight to Disney Plus. They're making more Muppets stuff, like Muppets Haunted Mansion. They're going straight to Disney Plus. It's like, that shit's not making money in the theater. So just put it straight to Disney Plus. But then again, I know what you're saying. Like, it's there for the select few people who want to watch it.
Yeah. My dog just busted ass right next to me. And it is.
I was wondering like what you were perturbed by. I was like,
it is,
and I forgot that you can't see me on the other square, so I thought you were just mad at me still about the Harry Potter thing. And
my question is, like, Brandon, you brought up a good point about with Disney Plus and stuff. I always assume that when they are announcing things like that for Disney Plus or Amazon Prime with like Coming to America and stuff like that, the goal is to get new followers or new subscribers. I don't know that with Flight of the Navigator, they're getting new subscribers outside of the diehard Disneys that are already there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like who in their right mind is going, oh, I did not get Disney Plus for Mandalorian or for any Marvel show or any Disney film or any Fox film or anything. Flight of the Navigator.
The one.
Sold. Muppets Haunted Mansion. Now we're fucking talking. Let me get my fucking credit card. Let's get some. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like
Muppets though. I could see it with Muppets a little bit more. Like maybe not like a ton, but like it's a big property that's been around since people were kids and.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that. Flight of the Navigator, Rocketeer, and then Muppets. Like at least it's based on a Disney ride. At least it has Muppets. But yeah, I see your point.
Muppets was way bigger than a Disney ride, Brandon.
No, I know that, but I'm saying like, when's the last time people talked about Muppets? You know what I mean? Like the last movie came out in 2014. Right, like Muppets Most Wanted, and then I think they had a Disney Plus show called Muppet Now. I watched them all this year actually for a ranking on Nathan Hale's channel. So I was like, I kind of got Muppet fever.
I mean, I would argue that people just kind of always talk about like Muppets in the sense that, yeah, sure, they're not in a national conversation, but if I walk up to someone on the street and I go, Kermit, I get arrested for screaming at someone on the street. But there's still that sort of like level of like they immediately
Kermit and Miss Piggy are permanently in the zeitgeist.
Yeah,
unlike the Rocketeer or Flight of the Navigator. So I get your point.
How about Twins? Because we're getting a sequel to Twins, which starred Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito, and the sequel is going to be called Triplets. You may remember, may not, that the original was based on twin brothers who are separated from birth after a genetic experiment, who learn, and the new one is they learn of a third brother that was also in the genetic experiment, who happens to be a black man played by Tracy Morgan. The original director is coming back, and apparently he's had this idea forever. And originally, I think it was Eddie Murphy that was lined up to play him, or they were trying to get him to play him like years ago. But now we're getting this. I remember watching Twins when I was younger. I probably need to rewatch it now. I'm sure I'll get like the references much better than when I was watching with my father as like a 8-year-old, but or whenever. But wow, what a combo! Just Tracy Morgan with Danny DeVito, and even Danny DeVito with Arnold Schwarzenegger now after his turn on Always Sunny. I just think this is kind of fascinating.
Yeah, this had me laughing, this announcement. I don't know if it'll be good. You know, I don't trust like sequels that are released many, many, many years later. Because really they haven't had a high. Yeah, exactly. Exactly what I was thinking in my head. And now the premise of Twins, and I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, or like, you know, the revelation of Twins was like they were trying to you know, like design the perfect man in Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then they had a little bit left over. And they like tossed it in like the trash, and that turned into Danny DeVito, which is still to me incredibly mean. I think that's like I would have been a fly on the wall of his agent, like, you know, all right, Danny, we got you a job with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're gonna be his leftover fescue. And like, so I don't know exactly how Tracy Morgan comes into that. Is he part of that then? That really gets complicated or just gets hysterically funny. I think it would be interesting if it's like Eddie or Tracy. And, you know, Eddie obviously at that time had like the high energy. It would have been good. Tracy has never really had the high energy, but like has just like the hysterics that he brings along. And boy, this just sounds like it could actually be kind of good, but I know it's going to drop the ball.
Sounds like an Amazon Prime property right away.
Oh, yeah.
Brandon, your thoughts?
I've never seen Twins, but funny enough, actually, my dad and his buddy went as twins for Halloween once, because my dad's the big German guy and his friend's a short Greek dude. And it was a great costume. I got to say, it was like a big hit back in the day. I saw some pictures of it. So yeah, maybe I'll ask him like, hey, want to have because I mean, I moved out, so I don't see him as much, but I'll be like, hey, want to have a movie night? Let's watch Twins. And I'm sure he'll be like, oh yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I haven't seen it. If, you know, like with comedy sequels so late, you know, you could get Dumb and Dumber 2, or you could get Bill and Ted, Face the Music. It's like, yeah. You know what? Actually, I was actually kind of happy about that. You know, I know, Joe, you loved Coming to America.
I did like
the second one, so I wasn't a big fan. But you know, again, like I say, sure, most of the comedies coming out super, super late don't have a good track record, but any movie can be good. So why not?
Have you guys seen Tracy Morgan's Rocket Mortgage commercial from the Super Bowl? It is
probably
my favorite commercial, just because he's so goofy.
Can we even afford this house?
I'm pretty sure we can.
Pretty sure. Rocket Mortgage, you can be certain. Not pretty sure.
What's the difference?
Let me show you. I'm pretty sure these aren't poisonous. You show me the parachutes.
Mine has the sandwich.
That's mine. You do not run. I'm pretty sure you can take Batista down.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is trending.
I'm pretty sure these hornets aren't the murdering type.
This must have been last year.
I'm pretty sure we can make it.
Let's go with certain.
Good choice.
When you're buying a home,
I love that commercial.
that is so clever. That is very clever.
I'm pretty sure he's just got that, like, the way that he tells jokes or the way that he speaks is so funny too. Like, he leans into it.
He's got like the fly in the dinner bowl kind of thing, where it's like it's a fancy dinner party, and then Tracy Morgan shows up, and just by his presence alone, yeah, it's just like, no, this doesn't work, sir. You can't be in here. And it's just like
they're making another Purge movie.
If he's in the Purge movie, that would be great.
Yeah, it's just everything that he says is like, it's the facial expressions. He's great.
He is great. All right, the last one is we are getting a remake of The Bodyguard. So
no, like just like absolutely not. Are you freaking kidding me? Can you bring back Costner on Houston? You can't bring back Costner in Houston. So get out of this. No.
So Matthew Lopez, who wrote The Inheritance, is writing the reboot, and this will be about 30 years after the original that starred Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston. That's I think it's still the #1 selling movie soundtrack of all times.
That's insane. Hey,
I know.
The body, like, wow, that's insane.
It has 2 hits, right? It has "I Have Nothing,"
I Will Always Love You, yeah,
and then "I Will Always Love You." Yeah.
That is a banger. I mean, for a song to come out from a movie, that's a pretty good one.
He gets off the plane, and while he's getting off the plane, the song starts, and then he just runs over to Whitney Houston, gives a big smooch, and then "I Will Always Love You" is there. Cuts to the concert. I'm not going to be able to imagine 2 other people with that. I'm sorry, I can't. This one pisses me off more than any of them. It really does.
So, fun story on TikTok and Instagram. There was a back and forth a while ago between Lizzo and Captain America, Chris Evans, where she was sliding into his DMs, and then he finally responded, and they're joking around. So now people on TikTok are promoting the Bodyguard remake with Lizzo and Chris Evans.
I rescind everything. I rescind everything.
I love
and
it.
I want the Bodyguard remake now with Chris Evans and Lizzo. That I'm like, not, there's not even a close to an irony in that. That would be the only way this could work.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
So the Bodyguard is the best-selling soundtrack album of all time. Can you guys guess what else is on like that list? Best-selling soundtrack.
Oh no, I'm gonna be so bad at this.
There's only one Disney film.
Oh really? Well,
only one.
Oh god,
It's got to be Lion King, right?
Lion King, right? It's Lion King.
Okay,
It's not
Aladdin's
Frozen.
a good threat, but no.
Excuse me.
So this is up to like today. I don't think that will mean anything.
Yeah. But I think they're albums. So like there's album streams as well. Like when it gets into streaming, then it gets like 2013 and on. So it's like Furious 7, See You Again, right?
Help us out. Give us some years.
Okay, so I'll just tell you guys the streams first, and then everything is prior. So you have like Bohemian Rhapsody. Okay, so I think this one's a Bollywood one. Tiger, Zinda High, Trolls, Justin Timberlake.
Oh God, yeah.
A Star Is Born.
Oh, good.
50 Shades of Grey. Ellie Goulding on the Weekend.
That's
Suicide Squad, Skrillex, Rick Ross, Lil Wayne with Wiz Khalifa. Moana, Frozen, Greatest Showman, Furious 7.
Very
so those
good.
are
all solid. All solid ones right there.
So I'll say the 2 Bollywood ones, or the 3 Bombay, Akishwi. I apologize if I mispronounced that, and then Dilwale Duhani. That's another Bollywood one. But okay, let's go 1983, 1984.
Oh fuck.
1987.
1983, 1984, 1987. I don't think I'm going to get these. And, I got to wonder. Yeah, I really. Oh, God, you got to tell them.
All right. We got Flashdance.
Oh.
Purple Rain.
Oh.
Which people forget is a movie. They really just think of the album. The movie is terrible, but the music in that movie is great.
86 is Top Gun, is it not?
No. I'm surprised. That's actually a good point.
Very surprising.
Grease.
Oh, Grease.
The soundtrack. Titanic. Dirty Dancing, and Saturday Night Fever.
That makes
sense.
And
then Bodyguard is number 1.
Those all make sense. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed those though. I'm bad at that because like I'm bad at like music.
Yeah.
So.
But Top Gun, that's a good choice. Or Footloose,
Footloose.
But I'm surprised it's not on there. So I don't know what like what 11, 12, 13 are, but that's the top 10. That's a kind of a fun trivia question.
That's an interesting one.
That's a really good one. And I apologize. There's randomly fireworks going off at 8:15 Eastern on a Tuesday evening, Wednesday evening.
It is the 4th of July.
Yeah. But anyway, let's take a break. And we're back. We may have taken more breaks than we need to, but whatever. So we're going to get into our rants and raves. I have a rant, and I want to start off with this. I am tired of James Corden. I don't want to see his face anymore in any of the movies that I love. I am getting very pissed off about it. So I defended him in The Prom, even though there was that whole controversy about like the straight guy playing the gay guy and leaning into the effeminate and all that stuff. I didn't mind him in The Prom. I liked him. I was like, whatever. He gave a good performance, in my opinion. In Cinderella, he shows up, and it's the most terrifying thing in the world because at one point he is turning back into a mouse, and his head is still there, but the rest of his body is a mouse, and it is terrifying. Look it up. It's horrendous. He is just popping up in all this stuff as like I guess he's like this, just the silly person to go for right now, and the comedic relief, and it's driving me absolutely insane. There's rumors that he is being eyed for the Wicked musical, as I think I forget the character's name, but it's like the goat character or whatever. I will be so pissed if they put him in this movie. Why is he in all these musicals? What did we do? As someone on TikTok put it, what did we do to deserve him in every movie? Why are we being punished this way when there are legions of Broadway stars that could step up into these roles? Is he a draw? I don't think he's a draw. I don't understand it. I mean, I get he has name recognition from the show, and I'm sure that there's like 40 or like 50-year-olds that watch it every night that are like, and 50 and up, that are like, oh yeah, we love James Corden, he's so silly, ha ha ha. But are they going to sit through then The Prom, which is about like, you know, two lesbian girls trying to go to prom together, or are they going to sit through, you know, Cinderella with Billy Porter as Fab G and a telling of that whole story, or Wicked, which is a story that's based in diversity? I don't think that's really the market you're looking for. I don't understand why I have to keep seeing his face.
No, I agree with this one. I mean, he really has this like desperately trying attention whore quality that is really something that just bothers me on so many levels. And I do think it is that he has that talk show, because that talk show is on CBS. Now, your point has been made. No, the people watching that talk show on CBS are not watching any of the musicals he's in. But for some reason, people are like blindly looking at the numbers, and they're like, he'll put asses in the seats, put them in your movie. And nobody recognizes the disconnect. That's my old-timey movie producer that doesn't exist anymore, but I still...
Yeah, he lives in Toontown with Roger Rabbit.
That is exactly what I'm going for there.
Yeah.
So I also forgot, though, that he was in Into the Woods back in the day. Yeah. So another musical for some god-awful reason. Like, why? He was in Cats, which...
Cats, yeah.
If he needs to be in any musical, put him in there.
Sure, Cats belong in musical hell with Cats.
Yeah. Yeah. Go there. We don't care about you. I don't get it. I don't understand, and it's driving me absolutely insane. But that's me. Anyway.
Good point.
So I'm going to go with my rant of the Emmys, which is interesting because at first I could call this a rave, because I could say that like the three main shows that deserve to win. The Crown, Ted Lasso, and also The Queen's Gambit. No surprises, no risky behavior, anything like that. But, you know, they kind of won their thing. Now, in most of the limited categories, there was an expression of, like a different show, Mare of Easttown. I would have loved to have seen Mare of Easttown win. Queen's Gambit is still a great show, but I would have loved to see Mare of Easttown win more. But hey, they shared the wealth. Comedy, same thing. Ted Lasso won. Loved Ted Lasso. Wanted to see it win. Hacks won a lot of below the line categories there, and also Best Actress for Jean Smart. And so that was great to see as well. Like Hacks was getting some love. The Crown is an amazing show. It truly is an amazing show. I have to start with that, but it won every single drama category that was that night. There's obviously a billion other Emmy Awards that are off TV, but the main ones there, it won every single one. Olivia Colman won. Probably should have been Emma Corrin. I would have that was also in The Crown. I would have loved to have seen MJ Rodriguez from Pose. I think that would have been a historical win, and also a great performance honored. Unfortunately, Josh O'Connor won for The Crown for Best Actor playing Prince Charles. I think his best work was done in the previous season, season 3. This was season 4 of The Crown. And season 3, he did better. And I would have loved to have seen, as we had just mentioned, Billy Porter win for that one. Now, if you notice, I'm like some of the people that I'm picking right now are people of color. I'm not picking them because they're people of color. I'm picking them because I think they had the best performance in those categories. And we also had a situation where 12 white people won. Not diminishing the performances of literally any of them, by the way. I got to make sure that is absolutely clear. But I think there was some better performances out there from diverse, more diverse people. The main one and the most like really, really rough one that I don't think I'll ever get over this Emmy loss was Michael K. Williams losing the Best Supporting Actor Emmy for Lovecraft Country. Truly, first of all, great performance. Really deserved an Emmy, that performance did. Now, also, the guy has never won an Emmy, has been nominated a few times, was never nominated for his role of Omar in The Wire, which is truly a magnificent character in television. So, guess what? This guy deserved his career Emmy. And, you know, we hate to talk about career awards. He deserved his career Emmy. Now, he was the front runner, and then the voting closed, and then he very tragically died. And obviously, you know, you can't change a vote. You can't change, like, that doesn't change any narratives and stuff like that. I don't even like thinking that way anyway. But the fact that it went to Tobias Menzies in The Crown, who, good performance, was better in season 3, and was actually more appeared in season 3. And also Tobias Menzies is an actor that should be celebrated. But against Michael K. Williams, who put in that great performance, like, and is just like a legend, and, you know, unfortunately passed away, which is, once again, voting closed before that. I'm going to keep repeating that. But that's something that just truly felt like a punch in the gut that night. In terms of everything else that night, there was some rough things. There was some great things. You know, like the skits I thought were pretty terrible. A lot of people liked Cedric the Entertainer. I did not think he was good. I think he did a little bit too corny of lines. And then the one thing, I'll end it on a high note with the Emmys, the Schitt's Creek reunion, where they did a bit where the teleprompter was off, was so elegantly paced. They truly actually fooled me into thinking the teleprompter was shut off and like everything was screwed up. And then they actually had this amazing bit from there, like where they just interacted so well. Eugene was so perfect in just simple body language and facial expressions, which is always the case. But all of them worked off each other so well. It didn't feel forced. It didn't feel canned. And you know, for the love of God, maybe a Schitt's Creek movie, which I first vetoed, but right now they were great. So that's my rave, and then I did my rant already with that. So, okay,
you know,
I feel good.
That's coming down the road, a Schitt's Creek movie.
It just has to now at this point. Those 4 were just like, somebody pick us up, baby. Like we're ready to do something with this.
Well, he just signed a long-term deal or a 3-year deal with Netflix, so who knows?
He did. Oh,
Brando Critic, ranting or raving?
2 mini ones. Mini rave. Like I said earlier, I am watching the Harry Potter movies again with my girlfriend. Every like Harry Potter nut that I talk to, they always say, "Oh, Chamber of Secrets is the worst one." I'm here to say, just share my love for Chamber of Secrets. I love that movie. I think it's actually one of the better ones. I think it's right up there. That's about it for raving. I love Chamber of Secrets. That's about it. Yeah. So I'm showing love to Chamber of Secrets where everyone else is showing it to Prisoner of Azkaban, rightfully so. And the first one and Deathly Hallows Part 2. And everyone just shits on, and this is like the Harry Potter, like people who collect all of the books and have the robes and have their wands and their Pottermore accounts. They hate Chamber of Secrets, at least the ones I've talked to. I love it, so I'm just sharing my love for Chamber of Secrets. I love you, Chamber of Secrets. My little rant, though, it seems like every single time a director talks, this time it's Denis Villeneuve. Oh, Brandon, what do you think about Denis Villeneuve's comments? Like, can you fucking believe him? How fucking dare he? And I'm like, who gives a shit? Do you know Denis Villeneuve? Like, do you personally know him? No. Okay. By him not liking movies that you really love, does that mean that you can't watch them anymore? No. So really, who gives a shit? You know? So like, and I say like, it's basically the exact same if I'm going like, all right, Joe, what's your favorite food?
Are you actually asking me that?
I'm actually asking you, yes.
Sushi.
What happens if I go, yeah, Joe, I don't like sushi. I actually don't really like sushi.
Fuck you, Brandon. No kidding.
That's what Joe will
so
do,
it's
actually,
like,
yeah.
like, what did sushi ever do to you, Brandon? Huh? Like, it's just the reaction of people. And, you know, if you want to ask me like, oh, do you agree or disagree? We can have that conversation. Sure. But for people like, I've seen it, like I'm boycotting Denis Villeneuve now. It's like, all right, that's your own, you know who suffers because of that? You do. Because now you won't be able to see Dune. You won't be able to see any of his other movies. You won't see Sicario. You won't see Arrival. He did Arrival, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I think it's just the overreactionary thing. It's like, who cares? Someone you don't know doesn't like a movie that you like. Whatever.
Piggybacking on that, journalists, please stop asking directors about Marvel movies. I think that at this point it's like they're talking about Dune. Keep it on Dune. Like, I think it came up organically. And also what he said was really kind of harmless. He's like, I'm excited for Chloe Zhao's movie. She'll probably do something different. And then he said the cut and paste thing. And some people lost their minds. But it not too bad until then, honestly.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? And I said this on the Talkin' TV podcast when we were talking about it. I said, you never notice that it's always the director who will openly say, oh, I don't like this movie. It's never the actors. Because I remember my last year of film school, one person said, oh, did you hear what Anthony Hopkins said about Michael Bay? I'm like, no. He's like, oh, he said that he was a genius. I'm like, yeah, you know why? Because he wants to get fucking paid. Right. That's why. Right. Like, so of course he's going to be in Transformers. Why not? Like, I don't like the Transformers sequels, but if someone asked me, it's like, oh, Brandon, you want to play a part in Transformers and get like a boatload of money? Yeah, sure. Why not? So, but the directors are like, well, I'm probably not going to make a Marvel film. So if you ask me what I think, I'll just say, like, I just generally don't like them. Like, they're copy and paste, whatever. Who cares? So
Warner Brothers is going to grab him for like Denis Villeneuve's Justice League or something.
DC series.
Yeah, exactly. So
he's doing Gotham.
I heard he's going to be in control of Fantastic Beasts 4.
Yeah, he'll drop that one.
Yeah. So again, it's just if you ask me like, oh, do you agree with them? We can have that conversation. But if you're going to be like, how aren't you outraged? Why are you outraged? That's my point.
Why not? Let's just be outraged about everything. It's the world today, you know?
Yeah, that's healthy.
Go cry. Just go cry to your mom. Why not?
I will. All right, let's talk what movies are coming out this week. Dear Evan Hansen hits theaters. I'm Your Man in limited theaters. Surge in theaters and VOD. The Starling on Netflix. Venus is a Boy VOD. Intrusion Netflix. Apache Junction limited theaters. My Little Pony: A New Generation Netflix. And Solitary limited theaters VOD digital. Always a pleasure to have you here, Brandon. Where can people find you? What's going on in your world coming up? What should people look out for?
Yes. So again, guys, thank you so much for having me on. It's always a blast to be on this show. I listen as much as I can. Again, it's been busy this summer, but so you can find me on YouTube. Obviously, trying to do as many of the newer movies as possible. But once in a while, if I don't get enough screeners, or if there's just movies that I'm like, it'll be a slow week this time, I'll do a first time reaction for a movie I haven't seen before. Those are always a fun way for me to tick off a movie from my to watch list. And then as much as I can, I try to do a hangout live stream where we talk about movies, and I have different guests on there. You guys have been on before, which was always fun. But in terms of newer videos, my Dear Evan Hansen review should be coming out maybe after this podcast, but if not, it'll be out Thursday morning. And then I'm trying to do a Venom reaction for the weekend. And again, I mentioned this off camera. I'll be actually going to Disneyland next week for a little vacation. But while that comes out, I'm trying my best to get this video out. A couple of months ago, my girlfriend and I watched all the Star Wars movies, at least the 9 Skywalker films. She hadn't seen any of them. And we filmed just her thoughts. So we did a long video, her talking about what she liked and what she didn't like. And I'll be having that video come out next Sunday as much as I want to. I'll try to get that out before I leave, so that video will be out when I'm away. And yeah, thank you so much for having me on, guys. Appreciate
That's
it.
awesome. Always welcome. Always welcome. Are you there for the Oogie Boogie Bash, or is that separate?
You know what? I heard about that. So it is themed Halloween. Mm-hmm. My tickets don't say anything about an Oogie Boogie Halloween Bash, but I think it's in California Adventure, and I think the day that I'm going to be there won't have it. Which is weird because that's October 1st. So I have to do some looking into that again, but I don't think so at this moment.
They added Agatha Harkness as a character down there for the Oogie Boogie Bash, and the people that are playing her are actually doing pretty well. It's pretty funny watching them interact. I was going to be like, go give them shit and let's see what happens. But
gotcha.
Anyway, guys, it's been fun. As always, thanks for listening. You can follow both Joe and Sean on Instagram at Guy at the Movies and Math Teacher Movies. New episodes of the Guy at the Movies podcast with Joe and Sean are available every Wednesday morning, wherever you get your podcasts. Also, be on the lookout for special spoiler pods, where we dive deep into the latest film releases. If you like what you hear, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.